All right, joining us now from the World of Outlaws is Ozzie Altman. And first met Ozzie about 20 years ago when he was doing some interviews with Rapping on Racing. Time kind of flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, and you're still rapping, man. That's been a long time ago, Don, and it's good to be back up in the Keystone State. That was, gosh, we were bringing the Have a Tampa Dirt Racing Series up north back in those days.
A couple of years ago. Now, I guess the best way to describe you now is you wear a lot of hats with the Outlaws.
I do a lot of work as far as advanced promotional stuff with them, and I've actually been here at Lernerville for the a couple of months off and on in advance of the Firecracker 100, which was a fabulous event here. This is such a great racing facility and such a key racing environment here in this part of the country. And actually did some stuff here with Gary and the World Racing Group in advance of this event. And, of course, as soon as I leave here, I'm heading to St. Louis because I-55 Raceway is gearing up for the Ironman 55. That's a unique deal because it's 55 laps for the World of Outlaws sprint cars. A battle of endurance, their longest race of the year at Pevely, Missouri, and that's a great racetrack as well. So that's Saturday night, August the 6th.
I noticed, when you first came up here, I said, I recognize that voice, and I looked over and I realized who it was. But in addition to being in the booth, I saw you down there with all the pretty young ladies when they were explaining which race it was. But what really fascinated me is the truck with the sign, and this is really a heads-up thinking. So let's talk about what that is and why you're doing it.
Well, we have to go back throwback. I mean, the business environment's tough. It's challenging now, and you've got the internet, you've got electronic media with radio and television, but it's old school. I think I shared with you, Don, years ago, Bob Harmon and Jimmy Mosteller and Earl Baltas taught me a lot of tricks of the trade. And actually, I got chewed out in my younger days one time because I didn't have staple guns, tacks, and hammers and strings to hang up signs and posters and banners. And so those kind of things need to happen all the time to stay out in front because the race fans generally know about our sport and our events. What we need to do is reach out to the public. And the sign truck is Tom Deary's creation. He and Roger Slack have put that into play. And we carry this big truck with signs on it and circulate around metropolitan areas, big shopping centers, or big concerts, or Major League ball games, NFL games, or what have you. And people see it and recognize it, and then that perks their interest and hopefully will make them fans of our sport.
Well, you got to be pleased with the promotion for this. It's the 20th annual Don Martin Memorial. And as I mentioned earlier, I've had the honor of being here for all of them. I'm kind of looking forward to this one. The format's a little different. I like what they're doing. Last year was a little bit confusing, but this year, in order to be the champion, you have to have at least one of the two wins and then the best finish in the other one. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, that kind of makes it a little more special. I mean, for winning the race. You were just talking to Jason a few moments ago. If he were happen to sweep these events tonight, he'd have 50 career World of Outlaws sprint car wins, and that's really a milestone.
I think that's what he'd like to do.
He's got his eyes set on it. And, Don, when I was up at New Hampshire working the NASCAR events this past weekend, Marcus Smith and I were talking a little bit about the upcoming World Finals. Of course, yet another year, not only for the World of Outlaw sprint cars, but the World of Outlaw late models and the Mighty Modifieds, which have deep roots here in this part of the country. That's November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And if you want tickets for this year's World Finals at Charlotte Motor Speedway, you need to get on the ball. It's charlottemotorspeedway.com or call toll-free 1-800-455-FANS. But that has turned into a monster event in the past 4 years.
I love going down for that. We're talking to Ozzie Altman, the man with many hats. Want to thank you for jumping in here. You did a nice job. The promotion was great. Going to be a good show tonight.
Hey, it's time to sit back and enjoy it, Don. Good to see you. It's been a long time, and always a pleasure to rap on racing with you.
Well, we're not going to do 20 years. We're going to get you on there this year.
You got it, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.